SARS Commissioner Edward Kieswetter says since the opening of the 2025 tax season in July, substantial improvements have been noted, attributed mainly to the AI-driven auto-assessment process.
To date, 7.3 million taxpayers have already been assessed. 5.8 of them didn't have to file a return. The others who submitted a return, almost 90% of them would have been assessed in under 5 seconds. SARS is working hard, we're on track, and in fact we will meet with the Minister tomorrow to review that progress and to see how we can strengthen revenue collection and deliver an outcome which is more positive than what the Minister estimated in Budget 3.0.
He's lamented years of the lack of adequate investments in the work of SARS, with underfunding limiting the work of the Revenue Service. According to Kieswetter, through an additional expenditure allocation of 7.5 billion rand over the medium term, SARS has onboarded around 1.7 new resources from matriculants to seasoned tax and compliance experts.
SARS has been tragically underfunded consistently, and you go into my public records, go into every SCOF presentation I've made. I did not make the point in 2025, I've made it consistently. And I think what the public support meant and the support from other political parties, I think thankfully resulted in the additional allocation. We sit with a balance sheet of well over 400 billion rand. Now, not all of it is collectible, but if we could collect just a third of that, it's between 120 and 150 billion. But we need resources to do that.
Responding to calls for the taxmen to go after the wealthy and big companies through a wealth tax, the Commissioner says this must not be political but evidence-based.
I belong to the camp that says there definitely is a case to review the tax on wealthy. But again, I don't believe that that must be driven by a political motive. It must be driven by scholarly work that goes to first principles and reconceptualizes how do we create a tax system which is more equitable, because our current tax system does not equitably tax wealthy people compared to working class people. But how we proceed with it, I would caution a populist approach to it and would invite a more considered and scholarly and strategic approach to it.
The Commissioner speaks of the importance of tax collection in pushing for service delivery and helping the poor.
Wealthy people, they can buy themselves out of natural disasters. They can insure themselves against a disaster or an accident. They can buy private education, private healthcare. Poor people can't. Poor people, they rely on government to deliver goods and services that impact the material conditions of their life and their well-being. And so when we think about our work, we are clear that we serve South Africans and in particular empower and enable government to deliver on the material and emotional well-being of South Africans. That's what our work funds.
SARS is also working to formalize the gig economy through a special tax, with consumers urged to be cautious around scams and tax fraud that becomes prevalent in this period. The taxman encouraging South Africans and businesses to file their annual tax returns in time, with a caution though of penalties, a shutdown of companies and legal action on non-compliance. Kieswetter will meet with the Finance Minister on Friday to review the 2025 tax collection process, with the Commissioner confident that they're still on target. Katlego Legodi, SABC News in Johannesburg.